Hi everyone, this is Sam with the Wine News in 5. Before I get to global news, a few news items from our team. Next month, on March 22nd, I will be moderating the Rhone Essentials Seminar at the Rhone Rangers Experience in Paso Robles. On March 23rd, Jancis will be in the Netherlands hosting a modern interpretation of the legendary 1976 Judgment of Paris tasting at Harry's in Maastricht. You can find tickets to both of those events and others on the Where to Find Us section of our website. And while you're there, I want to call special attention to an article we published this week. Christian Holthausen's essay on the importance of diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the drinks industry is a powerful argument for why we should be broadening the reach of these initiatives rather than dismantling them. We also continued our re-release of Vintner's Tales yesterday with an episode featuring the late Edmund Penning Rousel, Jancis's wine writing mentor and predecessor at the Financial Times. As well as writing for the FT, Penning Rousel was chairman of the prominent UK wine merchant The Wine Society for more than 2 decades. He wrote a number of books, including the much lauded The Wines of Bordeaux, and wrote wine articles for Marxism Today. He maintained that just because he was a lifelong socialist did not mean that he thought the Tories should have all the good wine. We expected this episode to be the last one we would re-release, but we've managed to find 3 more that our tech team is currently sprucing up, so look out for more episodes soon. If you or anyone you know have the episode featuring Howard Ripley or Arabella Woodrow, MW, please email me at news@jancisrobinson.com. We haven't been able to find those 2. On to the news. Today I'll discuss 4 new masters of wine, Trump's slashing of federal jobs and the impact on the wine industry, the WHO's crusade to put warning labels on alcohol, and Berkshire Hathaway's investment in Constellation Brands. First up, 4 new masters of wine. Today, 4 exceptional human beings were rewarded for years of study and hard work. They are our Amanda Barnes, MW, who wrote the South America Wine Guide and covers South America for our site. If you don't have her book, you should change that. Jackie Ang, MW, a pharmaceutical scientist who is the director of Sherwell Wine and Spirits and heads the High Throughput Screening Group at the Experimental Drug Development Center in Singapore. Sarah Benson, MW, who's the wine buyer for the Co-op in the UK. Kathleen Vandenberg, MW, a Belgian who makes wine in France's Loire at her 2 estates, Chateau des Minières in Bourgaille and Chateau des Surondes in Courtechamp. And I'll be raising a glass to all of these extraordinary people tonight, and I hope you'll join me. On to Trump's slashing of federal jobs. On February 13th and 14th, Donald Trump's administration carried out mass firings of federal employees. Both the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, were affected. The FDA is responsible for ensuring the safety of all things we eat and drink in the U.S., determining which ingredients are prohibited from use in food and beverage products. After 89 staffers were cut, the head of the FDA's food division, Jim Jones, resigned on February 18th, saying that it would be fruitless for him to continue and explaining that the people fired had been employed to do in-depth research on chemical safety to protect the U.S.'s food supply. The USDA is responsible for many of the grants and much of the research related to grape growing in this country, as well as guarding against the introduction of invasive species. Last week, 6 scientists who were working on millions of dollars worth of wine and grape-related research were eliminated overnight. These employees were researching smoke impact and mitigation, which cost the U.S. wine industry an estimated $3.7 billion as a result of the 2020 wildfires, as well as grape breeding, grapevine viral diseases, mealybugs, and spotted lanternflies, and precision viticulture. The work that was being done by these 6 employees had the potential to alleviate billions of dollars worth of future damages. The U.S. wine industry is an even more precarious place without them at work. Next, the WHO is pushing for warning labels on alcohol. On February 14th, the WHO issued a statement saying prominent health warning labels on alcoholic beverages are essential for raising awareness that consuming alcohol can lead to cancer. The WHO is suggesting that countries require prominent health warning labels on alcoholic beverages, that these labels contain cancer warnings, and that the labels are required to be on pack rather than as a QR code, as they admit that a pilot study showed that only 0.26% of shoppers scanned QR codes for health information. News site Just Drinks contacted industry trade body Spirits Europe for comment. The Director General, Ulrich Adam, responded, numerous peer-reviewed publications have shown health warning labels, HWLs, to be rather ineffective in inducing behavioral change, particularly among high-risk drinkers. Given this comparatively weak foundation, imposing HWLs is ultimately a political decision rather than one based on robust data. The ineffective, particularly among high-risk drinkers, is the part that bothers me. Pushes for alcohol labeling, pushes to broadcast the no safe level message. These messages will ultimately sway the behavior of people who are already concerned with their health and are more likely to be moderate drinkers, which means that the WHO isn't really tackling the problem of overconsumption. They're just stigmatizing an industry that provides millions of jobs and often serves as a positive impetus for community gatherings. Finally, Berkshire Hathaway's investment in Constellation Brands. On February 17th, multinational conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway revealed in its 2024 fourth quarter portfolio update that it had bought over 5.62 million shares in Constellation Brands for $1.24 billion. Constellation owns a plethora of wine brands, including Meiomi, The Prisoner, Robert Mondavi, Kim Crawford, Ruffino, Lingua Franca, and Sea Smoke. I don't have much insight into investing, but this seems like a fairly risky move. Constellation's stock price has fallen 26% since the beginning of 2025. That's all for this episode of Wine News. If you enjoy this newscast and you'd like to see it continue, please subscribe to jancesrobinson.com. And if you have breaking news in your area, please email news@jancesrobinson.com. Thanks.